A lot of us trust the doctors with our lives, especially when we are faced with life-threatening health conditions that require medical attention. And in most cases, we are left at the mercy of healthcare providers, medical practitioners, and medical doctors. Now, what happens when the standard of medical care falls below the required standard? What what are we now left with? In most cases, we are left with incidents of medical negligence. Now, this brings us to the recent alleged claim of one of our renowned writers, Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie, who recently lost her 21-month-old baby to medical negligence by a private medical facility in Lagos, Nigeria. Unfortunately, it the medical negligence in this case resulted in death. But this is not the case with the celebrity fashion designer Toyin Lawani, who came out to also cry out after she saw what happened to Chimamanda. She came out and she cried out and discussed her own experience of medical negligence by the same facility. There's also a young lady too who also came out to cry out, not her experience was not by the same facility, but another medical facility, a private hospital, where she successfully gave birth to her baby. After giving birth and got home, she realized that she started experiencing foul odor. And when she called back the hospital, they realized and remember, the nurses realized that they forgot something in her body, which resulted in the foul smell. Unfortunately, fortunately, that thing was evacuated from her. But my question now is, why did they have to wait for one person to die and cry out before they are now disclosing and publishing their own personal experience of medical negligence? Why do we have to keep quiet and wait for it to happen to the next person before we cry out? Is it that we do not know our rights as patients in the hospital? Is it that we are not aware of medical negligence? Is it that we don't know what steps to take to enforce these rights? Now, in today's video, we're going to quickly discuss what medical negligence is, what will happen, what will a medical facility do that will result in medical negligence, what the law says, and what you are expected to do. These are the things we are going to discuss today and many more. Please don't go away if you've not subscribed to this channel. This is an ample time and the best time for you to subscribe to this channel. Don't forget to share this information to everyone, because we all need medical attention from time to time. And don't forget to like this video so that we'll keep dishing out information like this to you. Medical negligence is a medical malpractice that occurs when a healthcare provider fails to give the accepted standard of medical care, which results or may result in harm, injury, or in extreme cases, death, like in the case of late Nkano Ezike. Now, there are 4 elements a person who claims medical negligence must prove. One of them is that there was a duty of care in the first place. There was a doctor-patient relationship that existed between both parties. And the duty of care was breached. That is the second principle that the person must prove. That duty of care must have been breached to result in medical negligence. Maybe the person was supposed to give you a particular standard of care for that particular time or for that particular ailment or medical condition, and the person, the healthcare provider or the medical doctor fell short of the accepted standard of care he or she was supposed to give. Now, the breach of that duty of care will, in most cases, will result in medical negligence. Another thing that the person who claims medical negligence must prove is that there was harm A harm must have occurred. Either you lost your limb, or you lost a part of your body, or you lost goodwill. Like in the case of that lady, she said people were avoiding her because of the foul smell and the rest of them. It confined you to a place. Like in the case of the celebrity fashion designer Toyin Lawani, who said that she was confined to a wheelchair for a period of time because of the medical negligence of the medical facility. And in extreme cases, the harm must have resulted in death, like in the case of Chimamanda's son. This instant case of Chimamanda's son, it must have resulted in death for one to be entitled to a claim for medical negligence. And then finally, damages might be in form of, like in this case, death. Damages might be in form of probably you were not able to go back to work or to do the things that you would have naturally done if you were healthy, and if not for the medical negligence of that facility. And that is what you have to prove if you are claiming medical negligence. What are the things that you are expected to do if you believe that you suffered harm or your loved ones suffered harm as a result of the negligent act of a healthcare practitioner or a medical doctor? What are the things that you are expected to do? One, you have to document everything. Like from now on, when you go to the hospital or you need medical attention, please document everything. And make sure you keep safe your medical records, like your medical card, if you ran a scan or test results, all the information that were used for your medical care in the medical facility. Keep and document your medical records. Another thing is request for copies of all clinical records as soon as possible. If you don't have access or if you don't have the information at your disposal, they are always in the medical facility. Request for them. In most cases, most medical facilities are reluctant to release such information. Like in the recent case of my very close friend and colleague who lost his wife as a result of medical negligence. He said along the line, when the wife was being taken to another medical facility because he got to an emergency situation, as they were wheeling her out of the hospital, she fell from up the story building down to the ground floor. From the second floor, she fell because she was unconscious. So she fell from there down. And when he was now claiming medical negligence, of course, he's my colleague, he's a legal practitioner. He was claiming medical negligence, and he now requested for the CCTV footage that recorded the part where the wife fell. The medical facility became reluctant to release it. In that case, you would need to subpoena that medical facility. You apply to the court for an order to subpoena that medical facility and mandate them to release the required information. If they have refused to do it willingly, they can do it by an order of court. You can apply to the court in the course of the proceedings and require them to produce that information because you need it for the success of your case. So that was what happened in that incident. So because you will need copies of all your medical records to claim medical negligence. Another thing is contact a qualified medical negligence lawyer. Contact a qualified medical negligence lawyer in your jurisdiction or in the jurisdiction where the incident happened, who will know exactly how to advise you and know the proper steps to take in that incident. And then finally, understand that there are timelines. Remember, most cases become statute barred. What I mean statute barred is that the time frame allowed by law for you to approach the court or to file an action elapses. When it elapses, you would have waived your right in law. When this time frame elapses, you would have waived your right in law. So you have to act fast, just like what Chimamanda is doing. She's acting immediately. I heard that she had already contracted her legal practitioners, and their team have already taken the necessary step to ensure that this case is nipped in the bud. And I'm certain with the current information at our disposal as regards the incidents, the alleged incidents of medical negligence that resulted in the death of Chimamanda's son, Kano, I'm certain that she would succeed in her claim, because if you look at the principles for a successful claim of medical negligence, you would see that it aligns with the information and the facts of the case at her disposal. And I want to appreciate her for speaking up at this time. Now, I want to believe that with the actions that Chimamanda Adichie is taking with regards to this issue, that medical practitioners will become more careful going forward and would give patients before them the required standard of medical care whenever they are faced with one health challenge or the other. And this does not only apply to Nigerian situations. Medical negligence also happens all over the world, and it's just a call for medical facilities all over the world to begin to take caution and give patients at their disposal the required standard of medical attention and medical care, irrespective of the caliber or the financial status of these patients. Everyone deserves to live, whether rich or poor. So they are expected to give them the required professional standard of care to ensure that lives are saved and the health condition of patients at their disposal are actually stable when they are leaving their facility. I want to thank you all so much for having me, and I also want to thank you all for your time. Enjoy the rest of your day.